Hello friends, I am Seema Chawla bringing you a series on product manager role in a startup. So let's dive in. Firstly, let me tell you startup क्या होता है. A startup is generally an organization that is built for hyper growth. These organizations are less than 10 years old and the founders are heavily involved in the organization. Now let's discuss about the product manager role in a startup. A product manager in a startup wears multiple hats and they not only deals with engineering, QA, UI, etc. In fact, they play a vital role in defining the pricing, marketing, strategies, customer support and even sometimes sales as well. So if you aspire to work as product manager in a startup, then you should be very hands-on from concept to delivery and should be familiar with new technologies, tools, framework, etc. The first benefit of working in a startup is that you are likely to be more involved with company strategy and get exposure to connect with the senior leadership and the board members. Secondly, you would have more influence and authority over the company resources, right? And the cons are, number one, there is typically no mentorship, no role models or best practices within the company. You may have to seek it externally. Secondly, budgets are typically very tight and as a product manager, you may not get all desired resources. Next is focus is majorly on near-term goals and it's tough to be strategic and futuristic. Life in a startup is also very stressful and as I mentioned earlier, you need to wear multiple hats. Tips to thrive in a startup as a product manager. So let's dive in. First, don't jump into the solution at first. Discuss with stakeholders in various cross-functional teams. Don't just build a solution because you can do it, right? And second, stay close to the stakeholders and founders and help them formulate their business ideas. Ask why, and so many whys. So you can get to the heart of the problem and build a better product. Number three, working in startup means you need to acknowledge that working hours will be long. In a startup, there is always more work to be done and not enough people to take it on. Number four, in startup, resources are less, so you should be familiar with latest technology trends, tools, which can ease your work. Number five, be aware of the multiple hats that you are wearing. So you are not only swamped, identify when you are doing the UX role or a project manager role or a customer service role. It is very essential to know the distinction so you know when to switch perspectives. If you are in an initial phase of your career and you don't have a clear career goal yet, joining a startup company could benefit you. Employees in smaller organizations tend to have a more expensive remit as they need to double hat job scopes due to their smaller workforce size. And if you are an experienced product manager, generally you are more self-aware of when to say yes and when to say no. Having a bit of experience under your belt will also help you manage strong-headed founders. Number one, सबसे पहले look at the company's product or services and understand its USP. Does the company actually building a worthy product or not? And are you able to connect with that product or not? Number two, also evaluate the promoters and management's track record, their fundraising strategy, their background, their educational information and everything. Number three, also do research over the addressable market of the company's product or services and project its potential to grow. Read company reviews on Glassdoor or AmbitionBox or Google. You can filter the responses by date and role to get the more clear perspective of the company. Number five, try to connect with the existing employees of the company over the LinkedIn and get more understanding about the company culture and policies. Biggest challenge in a startup is that there won't be any market research or stats available, so you must do that job also. To do the research, you should have a thorough understanding of what is there in the product, what is possible and what is not. If your product is a B2C product, constant observation of the consumer behavior is required. It will help you to write the requirement better. If your product is a B2B product, identify the commonalities of the client's requirement and write the requirement to suit the generic clients. And it should be configurable for vertical specific clients. You can gather requirements from market, clients, competitors, etc. and give a crystal clear requirement to the engineering team. Be a part of testing team as well to understand the flow and to identify the user pain. I'm sure you must juggle about this question, how a non-technical product manager could gain the respect of engineering team. It's funny that 89% of the questions related to the product manager are here about, oh, I don't have a CS degree or engineering degree. I'm not a technical product manager. If you are serious about product manager role, quit that mindset right away and begin getting some technical chops. Number 1, learn some HTML and CSS for a start is a good idea. You will love the mom, look, I have made it myself feeling. Plus, it would help you to understand how the front end works and it gives you the ability to alter the existing layouts and create realistic mockups. Number 2, learn basic SQL syntax and it will help you to understand the relational database models. Number 3, learning the basics of a server-side scripting language would take a couple of months, hard work, but it's absolutely worth it. My advice would be to start with PHP and it's probably the easiest one to learn. After learning with those, you should know just enough to create a website of your own, create a blog with WordPress, without WordPress, have a side project. After that, you are most likely to start learning some other stuff. With each passing day, we are moving towards an AI first world. And this is a great time for tech startups to make their mark. Make a note, guys, AI and robotics will rule the future. Many venture capital firms and tech investors are having a bird's eye view on the tech industry for all the novel ideas that you can turn into a reality. It's time to dream big and act now. This is the new motto. Now, I'm sharing with you the best startup categories which you can follow. Number 1, AI-based startup, e-commerce startup, edtech startup, fintech startup, food and beverages startup, healthcare startups, blockchain startups, IoT startups, software and startups, transport and travel startups, mobile app startups, and even fashion startups as well. That's it for this series. Hope you liked my series. I will come back soon with another new series. Till then, follow me on Seekho and keep watching Seekho.